Hey, oh, you scared me.
Sorry, didn't mean to startle you there.
How are you, Jimmy?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm all right. Hey,
Good.
everybody. As we say, how are yous tonight?
Yep. How are you?
How are you-uns tonight?
Yep.
Okay, this is Pastor Will and
Jimmy.
with the world famous Will and
Jimmy Show.
I'm right here in beautiful studio.
Michelle. And when we say it's beautiful, we really
It
mean
is.
it now.
Yeah, this is really looking sharp. Yeah, it is.
Well, we're still working on it.
Yeah.
And making adjustments and such. And we had a little audio issue last week, a little bit. I don't know if you noticed, but the audio was kind of low and there was a
Well,
hiss
I
in the
thought
background.
it sounded just a little bit of a muffle or something.
Yeah,
So you noticed that.
So yeah, but I think we're fixed and we should
Okay.
be good for tonight.
Great,
We should be
okay.
hearing us loud and clear.
What do you think our
tonight.
problem was?
The microphone settings on the camera.
Okay.
So
Well, I'll tell you, this is really a nice place. And if you're out in the building looking this way, you would never know that this is an addition. I mean, it looks like it's been attached to that part of the forever. So it looks really, really neat.
it does. It's
Yep.
very good. Yep.
So we are excited.
We are excited because we can use this room for lots of different purposes.
Yes.
We haven't quite done that yet because we're
Yeah.
not 100% finished. But
This will make a perfect counseling room. Real good. It would make a perfect. We could even use it for a receptionist area if people needed to come in.
sure.
Does this window open here? Does
Yeah.
it push
yeah.
up?
It comes up. Yeah.
So we've got.
Yeah.
You need to do a little round the screen one day
Yeah.
and let everybody see what
Let
it looks
everybody know.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we've even got some carpets on the floor, and it's just amazing what's happened.
Mm-hmm.
It's a
Yep.
transition and what's the word I'm looking for? Well, it is a transition.
Well,
I don't know what the other word is.
It's an upgrade.
Upgrade.
It's for
yeah.
sure an upgrade.
Yeah.
And from way back when we started doing these type of things, we were just using a cell phone
Yeah.
to record, and
Yeah.
didn't even have a stand. We just
We're
kinda
moving
held
on
it.
up in
So
the world.
We are moving up.
We're moving on
Yeah.
up. Yep.
And we do that all for you.
Well, you've already moved up
Yeah.
18 inches.
I did. I sure did. Yeah.
So actually, the height of this up here is the height of your floor
Correct.
in the sound room.
Right. So it's like I'm standing on
Yeah.
the ceiling.
Well, I think this just looks great. I
It
mean,
does.
I'm very happy with it.
Yep.
Certainly.
And if you are come by one day and you want to see, we'll be happy to give
Yep.
you a tour. And you never know, we might talk you into being a special guest.
That's right. We need some
might.
special guests.
Yes, we do.
We tried to get Frank on here tonight. Many of you know Frank, the people from Shades, and he came by riding his bicycle, and I said, Frank, you want to be our guest? He said, I'm not up to it today. He said, I'm just not feeling it today.
Yeah, well, we know what that's like
Yeah,
sometimes,
yeah.
don't we?
Yeah.
We don't feel it until we get in here and get started.
Sometimes you just got to do it by faith and feel it later.
Right.
Anyway, Jimmy, it's good to
Yes.
see you today.
Good to be
We've
here
been
today.
haven't talked very much this day or yesterday.
No, not
I've been
much.
secluded in my office, and I've had an unusually large number of people coming in this week.
You have.
Just to be prayed with or counseling or whatever. And then I'm working on a special project too. So Jimmy's desk is just beyond the wall from my office. But we yell back and forth once in a while.
We do. Yeah.
To each
It's-
other and at each
And
other.
it's been busy in both fronts.
it
a lot
has,
of things
yeah.
going on. A lot of
Yeah.
people in and out this week already.
Yeah.
And here we are. We have arrived in April.
April.
We have already
Yeah.
arrived in April.
Can you believe it's already the second day of April? And what have we got? 2 more weekends until Easter? Could that be?
No, it'd be more than that because Easter's on Sunday the 20th.
Okay, you
So-
forgot what's this coming Sunday.
Let's see, this coming Sunday. Well, Palm Sunday is the 12th.
So that's a week from this.
Or I'm sorry, it's the 13th. We celebrated on Saturday.
So that's a
the
week from this coming
13th. So
Saturday.
that is that is. Okay, so wow.
2 weeks.
My goodness.
I mean, I couldn't believe it. The last time I checked,
Wow.
it was 4 or 5 weeks, and all of a sudden it's 2 weeks from this
Man, time
weekend.
flies by.
So we're going to have to, let's see what you got
So
there.
this is our Easter schedule, and I'll be sharing this on Facebook this week too. So
Yeah.
just a few things that we have going
It's
on
on
here,
us, yeah.
for Easter, and I'll put that up there for you. This is more breaking news here
Yeah.
on the Will and Jimmy Show, but we have our Palm Sunday observance on Saturday.
Saturday,
And
yeah.
that's Saturday, April the 12th.
Yes.
And then we have Good Friday coming up on Friday the 18th. And that is our annual Walk with the
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Cross.
and we need to talk about that and see if we're going to do anything a little special this year.
Right.
Remember a few years ago we had Dr. Smitty's band, and
Yes.
they had the trumpets
Yes.
and all the stuff going up the street.
Oscar and
Yeah.
was with us. Yes. That
I
was a
felt
good-
like we were in a New Orleans jazz funeral.
Yeah, that was great. Because you stopped every couple
Yeah,
of
we
blocks,
did. Mhm.
and they would play a song. And I think
Yeah.
you went all the way up to like where
To where Michael
Hunger First
was at Hunger First.
and
Mhm.
came back down. So
Yeah,
yeah, maybe we can do something like that.
yeah.
And then of course that Saturday we'll be celebrating the Easter Saturday
Yeah.
here at
And we
Shadesbury
do what we
Easter
call the
Vigil.
Easter Vigil. That will be on Saturday morning. So we will be anticipating the resurrection of Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we know that he is resurrected. The mystery of faith, Christ has died, Christ is risen, and Christ will come again. But all of this is just a good way to remember what it's all about. So, yeah, but I couldn't believe we got 2 more weeks from this weekend till Christmas. Well, we really got 8 months till Christmas. 8 more months.
It'll
Can
be
you
here
believe
before you know it.
it? It will.
But yeah, so that's some dates coming up. And
Yeah.
like I said, we'll be sharing that with you and posting
Yeah.
more about that.
We sure do.
But make plans now to go ahead and join us for those services because those
Right.
are always very special
Yeah,
services.
come on out for, most churches have their largest crowds on the Easter weekend.
Right.
And so if that's any indication, we may have to put some chairs
We
out.
probably will because
So-
I tell you about every Saturday morning we have almost filled it up.
We've almost
Just
reached
about.
our capacity.
Yeah.
So, yeah, come on out. Come as you are. Don't dress up. It makes me nervous when I see somebody walking in with a suit and tie.
Yeah. Uh-oh. What's going on? You're right.
Anyway, I'm just joking about that. But seriously, just come casual. You'll be fine. Men, you can wear your cap.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies, you can wear your Easter bonnet. It doesn't matter. God looks at the heart.
Right.
Just come on out.
Just be
Join us.
comfortable. Be who you are.
Yeah, nobody's going to care what you're wearing. Just wear something, even if it's a fig leaf.
Whoa. Well, at least you're wearing a fig leaf, I
Yeah.
guess. Because there's been times where maybe that wasn't the case.
We've
around
seen
here.
a few times when a fig leaf would have been welcome. This is Shades of Grace.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
And we need
Yes.
lots of grace.
Yes.
Thankfully, the Lord's grace is sufficient, but some days we need more than the others.
I remember one day, thankfully, it was just you and I in the building, and we had let someone come in to shower late in the afternoon, which I think they had maybe kind of had a little bit of an accident
Oh, yeah.
and needed to get clean. And all of a sudden, I looked out, and he had come out of the shower to get some soap and shampoo, and he had forgot to wrap himself in his towel.
Oh,
And I told his nurse, I said, "You can't do that." He said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know." And
yeah.
thankfully, we were the only ones here.
And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, that's why we do not offer showers anytime within an hour of worship.
Exactly.
You just
Exactly.
never know. Shades of Grace. It's just an interesting place. You see life as it really is, and not as how you think it ought to be. I mean, it's just life.
It is the realness of
Yeah.
everything that's going on here.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, last week we talked a lot about that.
We
about
did.
the things that have been
Yes.
going on, and I want to mention that we got attacked pretty good on the show last
we
week.
have to start censoring our comments.
Yeah,
We're getting
yeah.
X-rated comments.
Yeah, and it's from people who are not part of this congregation, not really part of this community. They're
Right.
they're just trying to stir things up.
Yeah.
But and we have zero tolerance for that kind of behavior.
We'll just block you
Zero.
in a heartbeat.
If you have something angry to say towards this show or our Saturday morning service or Shades of Grace or whatever, take it somewhere else.
Right.
This
Well,
is not the place for that.
Right,
It's not.
we've blocked several, and we'll block more. I mean, and
Yeah.
we're here to be uplifting and encouraging and have a little bit of fun, and we're just not going to put up with the foolishness. I mean,
No. So if you don't like what you see, just change the channel. 'cause
Change the channel.
There's other stuff on the TV tonight that you could watch. Maybe more entertaining.
That's
Maybe
exactly
not.
right.
I don't know.
Yeah, but in all honesty and sincerity, we have gotten some really nasty stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and we're just not about that. I mean, if you're gonna condemn, criticize, you know, just take it somewhere else.
Right. Well, you remember months back, we got a Google review, and it said we were a bunch of moron rednecks, and that we were going to have the free wrestling and gospel singing. Remember that? As a matter of fact, you know,
That's what generated that.
we still have that. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
that's what you call making lemonade with lemons. You
But
know?
those were the good comments. The ones we're
Yeah.
getting lately are just really
It is
nasty.
It's not, and it's just hate fueled
Yeah, yeah.
Towards us, towards the church, towards the United Methodist
Yeah,
Church,
yeah.
and just
yeah.
towards humanity
Yeah,
in general.
really.
And you know, I would hate to think that that's all I had to do.
Yeah.
It takes a person who's really miserable with their
Right,
life
right.
to spread that.
Who's
kind
trying
of
to
hate.
make everybody else miserable.
And they,
Yeah.
yeah. So, anyway,
Well-
we just want to let you know if you see those comments, we apologize. That's
Yeah.
no one that is involved with Shades of Grace.
Right.
I promise you that.
Yeah, and if you do see those, just delete them or block them. But this has been going on for months now, but it's accelerated in the
seems
last
like it
few
has.
weeks.
Yes, seems like
And,
it has. So we just pay a little bit closer attention.
Right.
I've got a few people that kind of watch the comments for us as well, just in case we can't be right there in
Right.
front of it here on Wednesday nights or Sundays at 4, just to make sure that no one's under attack. None of you are seeing things that you don't need to see,
Yeah.
comments you don't need to see, because it has nothing to do with
No,
what we do
no,
here. We are not
no.
part of that.
And I, you know, as a pastor, I've been, you know, we've all been accused of everything under the sun, you know, as far as being, you know, accepting of all people and all that. And we are. We unequivocally accept everybody. And if you don't like that, then go wherever you want to go. But, you know, we're an open congregation to welcome everybody. And, you know, that's just the way it is.
What was it that Dr. Smitty said in the Bible study a few weeks ago?
Yeah, I posted that. He says, anytime, and I'm paraphrasing, anytime that a church says we are going to have ministry open to all people without reservation, that there is going to be pushback from the religious community. From other churches, I believe is the way you put it. But, you know, in the sermon we preached this past week from Luke, Jesus' greatest criticism was from the scribes and Pharisees, the religious people, who accused him of having fellowship and eating with sinners. Eating and drinking. I thought, what an unpardonable sin that you should ever sit down and eat something with a sinner.
Yeah. How about that? I guess we wouldn't be eating much, would we?
We'd die of starvation just as sure as the world. Looks like you and I are the one not been in that situation too much.
You know, that's funny. Can I tell people what?
Yes.
So one of the comments last week was, "This is not the Will and Jimmy show. It's the stupid and fat show." So I'm not sure which label fits either one, but I got a pretty good idea which one I know. But you know what?
And they had some other choice words.
Yeah.
But we're a family show, and that's we
don't want-
can't. We just don't want to go there.
So
But-
if anybody did see that, I apologize. But I just wanted to bring that
Well, you
up.
know, someone even made some horrible comments against Dr. Smitty
Yeah.
in Bible study,
Yeah.
and thankfully you
Yeah.
were able to remove that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Very quickly.
they're called trolls, right?
Right.
How many of you, when you were in school, do you remember this when you're a whole lot younger than some of us, but in school when the teacher used to read, when we were in rural primary school, the teacher would always have a reading time when she would read a book. Did your teachers ever do that?
Yeah, I kind of
And
remember.
there used to be one about the troll who lived under a bridge, and Billy Goat Gruff, who was afraid to cross the bridge because of the troll who was waiting under the bridge. The things you remember.
Right.
Well, these people are called trolls. I mean, isn't that the...
That's right. Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
technical word.
Yeah.
And they may be somewhere in Indonesia. They may be in Australia. They may be in Michigan. I mean, they can be anywhere. They're not necessarily here in Kingsport or even in our area. But when they're on virtual platforms, you don't really know where they are. And they can take your name and clone it. And by the way, if you ever get anything that's like that from me or with my name attached to it, let us know, because you know, we don't use the internet for those kinds of purposes, and I hope all of you know that
No.
by now. That's
And it's
But-
happened before.
yeah,
It
it's
has
happened. Yeah,
But they are the trolls. And you know, if you get engaged with that hate speech,
Yeah.
even if you're taking up for someone, they win.
they always
At that
win.
point. That's
Yeah.
exactly what they
They
want.
always win. Yeah.
And you know, yesterday I was reading. You know, there was an announcement yesterday about federal cuts that are really going to hurt Second Harvest
Right.
Food Bank here locally.
Right.
And I was just reading. It was on one of our local news outlets, and Lord, I don't know why I did it, but I just started reading the comments, and it kills me.
Yeah.
Of one, not just the hate, but the absolute ignorance and misinformation
Right.
of the comments. And
Right.
like people just don't know what they're talking
No.
about.
No.
You know, quick to jump to a conclusion,
Yeah.
quick to judge, and that's not the way it is.
Well, you know, I love social media. I'm thankful for the means by which we're able to come to you. If it weren't for Facebook or YouTube, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing right now.
Right.
But there are some downsides to all of this stuff, and that's one of them. And unfortunately, there are people who thrive on that. But the good always outweighs the bad.
And when we're reaching these numbers
Right.
each week
Right.
on, you know, our whether it be the tonight's show, Sunday at 4, and now we're live streaming
Right.
the Bible study later that
Right.
afternoon.
Right.
When you're reaching these type of numbers, you're going to get some of
Absolutely.
that. You're going to get some of that.
And honestly, we ought to consider ourselves blessed.
Sure.
I mean,
Absolutely.
the Bible says, you know, when people revile you and say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake, then rejoice and be exceedingly glad. Not just glad, but greatly glad.
Right.
You know, just be happy that, you know, people see something worthy of criticizing.
That's one way to look at
Yeah,
it.
at least it's worthy of criticizing. But, yeah.
Yeah,
it's-
but we do. We try to watch that, and we, you know, and we don't want. And I notice a lot, like spam accounts that are fake accounts.
Yeah.
They'll like say, just for example, say Miss Bell comments tonight, hello, and then they'll come in there, hey, I really liked your profile. Would you be my friend?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and again, I'm sure you all know that has nothing to do with us.
Right.
And don't ever answer those either.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
don't do that.
There's a way you can go in and click on them, delete them, and just block them. And then there'll be 5 more come up behind it with a different name.
You're right.
So, you know, you can't really win against that stuff. Just ignore it and go on. And it's like life. You know, why get caught up in all the drama of
Right.
things, you know?
But people are always they're just kind of out there trying to
Yeah.
find some way to get to you.
Right.
I know a lady years ago when Facebook was kind of a newer thing. She was an elderly lady, and she got on Facebook to talk with like her. She had like a social club and a book club and a bridge. What is bridge? Is that the card game?
I think so.
Yeah, or maybe Rook, one of those. And she wanted to be on Facebook for that. And somebody started and she was a widow and lived alone. And somebody started contacting her through Facebook, and she was very lonely. Very, very educated lady. But they took advantage of the loneliness and ended up scamming her out of like $10,000
Wow.
because
Wow.
they said they lived in somewhere out west, and well, I'm going to fly to see you. Can you help me with airfare?
Wow.
And she was, and come to find out it was a scam. So be careful.
Well, that happens. And, you know, there has been quite a few scams going around in the United Methodist Church recently to different pastors or to congregations where people will get special messages like a text message, and they'll say, hey, this is Pastor Will. I have been in an accident. I need $10,000 right now. I'll pay you back, you know, or, you know, some far outlandish thing. And so you have to be careful, especially when you're dealing with unknown situations.
And there's always indicators in there because it'll be something that's like, I need the help, but can you send it in gift cards?
Right.
Or can you send it in Western Union? There's always something
Right.
in there. If you look
Right.
close enough, you can find. So don't fall for those. And that's happened a lot.
Yeah,
You know,
it
a lot.
does happen a lot.
And you know, if these spammers, if they're hitting 1,000 people a day, 1 or 2 are probably going to
Right.
fall for it. I mean,
Right.
that's a pretty good
Profitable
percentage,
day.
you know.
Yeah.
So for them, that's good.
And please know that Shades of Grace will never ask you for it. We will never solicit money.
Never.
If that should ever happen, it will be Pastor Will making a personal call or visit face to face. We will never put anything on social media soliciting any kind of funding.
Right.
Just know that.
Right.
Yeah.
And know that also your online giving, we have 2 online giving options. We have Tithely and we have PayPal. And the reason we use those 2 is because they've been tested and tried, and they're completely safe. They're 100% safe, and that's why we use those.
Well, Jimmy, mention about our old website.
Yeah,
Because, somebody approached me just last week that they had tried to go on and give, and it was something in Chinese.
Yeah.
But can you let the people know what that's about?
So years ago, one of our volunteers was kind of starting a web hosting business, I guess, and wanted to help Shades out by creating a web page. And he did that. He said he did this all on his own, set this all up, and then, life happens, and this volunteer wasn't here anymore, and we had a website out there that wasn't being updated or managed. We had no access to it. We didn't have a login or a password or anything, and we tried to get that information, and we couldn't get that information. So what happened is it was Shades of Grace, kingsport.org. That domain eventually expired, and someone else bought it.
Is that what happened?
That's what it is. And it's now an Indonesian gambling site.
Yeah. Somebody told me we were trying to give Shades of Grace some money, and it came up as a gambling site.
Yeah. So,
but again, maybe you can specify to the people where you can safely give to Shades of Grace.
And I want to say, we have, to those who have seen that and let us know, thank you very much. We are aware, and we have really tried to
There's no way we can do anything
and there's
about it.
Absolutely nothing we can do about it. It's just there, which we never really use the website much anyway.
Right.
Facebook is our, that is our website. That's what we use as our website.
Right.
And I did get in, the way that people were finding this website is when you go to Google, it was just coming up. I did go in and put in a thing with Google to try to block that. I'm waiting for an answer on that. So, but yes, if you are wanting to give online, just simply go to our Facebook page. There is a tab that will say Shop Now. You can click on that, and that will take you directly to Tithely. Okay. And then if you want to give on PayPal, some people prefer that. If you'll look through our post, you will see that QR code for PayPal. And it took me a long time to catch on to QR codes, but now I like it. And if you need to know how that works, all you do is you take your smartphone, whether it's an iPhone or an Android, whatever it is, you go to the camera, and you just zoom right up to that QR code, and it gives you a website, and you click on that. So for PayPal, that would directly go to our Shades of Grace PayPal account.
There's none other like it. It's like a fingerprint or a thumbprint.
And it is 100% safe.
Yes.
I don't have a preference over Tithely or PayPal, either one. That is completely up to you.
Right.
But I will say that Tithely has been very successful with us. We've been using that for, I guess, probably about 3 years
Several years now.
Yeah, and we got that from a recommendation from other churches and that use that.
Right.
And it has been a blessing to us. So thank you all who give through that.
Yes.
But I assure you, before we chose that program, before we chose
a lot
that
of
company,
research went into it.
Yes, and we actually signed up for it and tested it several months before we went live with it, and we receive a lot of offerings, donations, tithes through that site from all over.
Yeah.
Not just here locally, but all over, and a lot of people that we don't meet.
And we want to thank you for all you do. Many of you who have sponsored us, shared financial resources, whatever. We appreciate you so very much.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And and if you have any questions about that, sorry, my phone was just buzzing like crazy in my pocket. If you have any questions about that, just reach out to me here, and I will lead you and guide you. And sometimes the first time is always the hardest time getting something like that set up. But after you do that, I promise it's very easy and very simple. So,
well, how many of you? I've been going out more frequently now to eat in a few of my favorite restaurants. During the pandemic, I pretty much gave up eating out in restaurants and just learned to eat at home. But, as life goes on, I've kind of resumed some of my dining habits. And it's really easy to just pay at your table now. I mean,
I love it.
Whoever thought you would see a day like that? Go and eat and just take your cell phone with you and pay your bill and go home. You don't have to. I mean, it's just
So easy.
it's a different world.
So easy. I like ordering food on the mobile apps. Like if we're going to go through a drive-through and pick something up, just order. And plus, they give you discounts for ordering.
Okay,
On
right.
the app, 20-25% sometimes.
Wow, okay.
And that's a big
I
savings.
haven't done that.
Yep. So we do that every so often, and you go there and you just tell them your code, and they have it ready for you, and you're
Okay.
done.
All right.
And I'll tell you a funny story about COVID. We were talking about
Yeah.
restaurants.
Right.
We all stayed home for a very long time,
Yeah.
and we were really itching to get out once the numbers had started to lower a little bit and things seemed a little bit safer. And we had a friend who works at one of our favorite little burger places, and we called down there and asked if they were open. It was a Friday evening, and he said, yeah. I said, where are you busy? He said, there's not a soul in here. Come on down. Great. So we go to this little burger spot, and I swear it was the best burger and fries I'd ever had in my life. And Monday morning, I get a call from that same guy, and he said, I hate to tell you this, but he said the cashier who rang you up tested positive for COVID.
Oh my.
And this was early, early on.
Yeah.
Oh man, boy, oh boy, were we taking everything we could. This was before the
Yeah.
Paxlovid and all that.
Yeah.
And
Well, I remember that. Similar thing happened to me. I was doing a funeral service. I do lots and lots of funerals. And this was in the early days of the pandemic, I'd say within the first couple of weeks. And I did a lot of them outside where people were just standing out in the parking lots of the funeral home doing a service. And this particular one, they had a fire truck there. It was a fireman or someone who had passed away. You remember that?
I videoed that.
Yeah, you were there.
Mhm.
And I don't know if I
Yeah.
ever told you.
I don't know.
I tried to avoid talking to people. We socially distanced. We did all of this. And 2 days later, I get a call on my phone. Is this the preacher that did the funeral? He said, I was talking to you. He said, I have COVID. He said, I just have to let you know that you were exposed to me at the funeral. And it made me a little nervous. It was in the beginning, and we didn't know what we were dealing with. But
Do you remember the time, during COVID, we recorded our service on Saturday morning.
yes.
And right after the service, a family came in to talk to us about a
Oh,
funeral.
yes.
And we sat at this long table.
And the funeral director was with them on that case.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we sat it, and we all separated. And
Long
then,
table.
and then later that afternoon, you got the call, and he said, now you do realize that.
Well,
this-
it happened right here. We spent an hour. If it's the same one, we spent about an hour trying to make arrangements
Yeah.
with this family,
Yeah.
and then the funeral director came
called,
in.
Yeah.
But anyway, I asked the man that we were dealing with, and his wife were sitting here, and it was his brother who
It was
was
his brother.
dead.
Right.
And I said, after we'd been there about 45 minutes like this, I said, by the way, what did your brother die from? He said, oh, they said he had that old COVID. And he'd just been there at the house, And I thought, wait, you tell me this now?
Yeah.
And then the funeral director
Yeah.
told us,
And that was very early on.
Yeah.
And probably about 5 years ago right now, this time
Yeah,
of year.
yeah.
And I know we had already closed down at that time.
Yeah, we
But
had.
we were still feeding outside
Right.
on Sundays.
And we're still trying to help people.
Yeah, but we...
And they should have said in the beginning, this
Right.
is why, But anyway, thanks be to God. We're here today. I'm glad that's all behind us.
Boy.
And
Boy, wow, I
it
am
kind
too.
of changed the world.
It did.
Changed a lot of
It did.
things.
But just think about the things here that it's changed for
Yeah.
the better.
Yes.
It really did. It made us just get creative. And
Well,
just
we finally
a whole
slowed
new
us
approach.
down. We were on a runaway train that we
Yes.
couldn't get off of. I mean, it was just speeding more and more down the track. And I mean, we were involved in so much we just couldn't get off. And abruptly came to a halt. And through all of that, we were able to get the floors finished. Some of our friends, Matt Schmidt from St. Dominic's Catholic Church, called me, and he came in and redid all of our floors in the
Yes.
building at no charge.
Yes.
Didn't cost us anything. And we just, so many good things happened like
Yeah.
that. And we used the time in the building to continue working, improving, and modifying the way we did things. And we, moved the work outside. But anyway, we live and learn and move on,
And I think what we do now is more efficient
Oh,
than
yes.
ever. Definitely. We get to spend more time with folks.
Yes.
One-on-one time. And we're still, I see the numbers of our daily meals are starting to climb. Now that we're the weather's warming up a little bit. We're approaching the 140 mark, closer and closer, and that will continue to grow through
the summer months.
Yes, but I will say we've got so many great sponsors, whether they're churches, civic groups, or just some employment groups.
Right.
I don't want to name the companies because they may not want it to be known. A lot of
that's true.
Generosity is unknown. You never hear about it. But we had a large company just sign up with us this past week that is going to do a day a month.
Okay.
And they're going to, the large company has a cafeteria, and they're going to get together early in the morning and make the sandwiches as a group and bring those in for that day.
Fantastic.
And they're doing it here in April for the first time as a trial run. And if it goes good, he said they're looking to they'll go ahead and block out a whole year of Tuesdays.
Wow.
So that's great.
Wonderful.
That's great.
So I hadn't heard about that.
Just a little department.
So this is a new
first time.
venture. All right.
First time. Very large company.
Praise the Lord for that. Yeah. As they say, there's a very large medical system in your community.
Right. Yeah. So
speaking the code language.
We're thankful for that, and we've got so many different groups that are looking at our calendar for April.
Yeah.
It's amazing how many people come together to make this all possible, because it takes a lot.
Yes.
It really takes a lot of people of sharing their gifts, their callings, because my calling is different from yours.
Yeah.
Yours is different than mine.
Right.
And Lloyd's is different. Becky and Mikey and Terry and everyone, I don't want to name names, we always forget somebody, but everybody has a certain role that they play. Like we have certain people who come in the afternoons, and sometimes kind of unseen, even like now, but they make sure that the laundry is finished, that the showers are ready for stock for tomorrow.
The garbage
is taken. The dishes are washed.
That's right. And I mean, that makes a world of difference. And thank you, unnamed people.
Yes, thank you.
But we appreciate it. Yeah.
Everybody plays their part.
And as we say, if we just all stay in our lane, I mean, think about a bowling lane, and you got all kinds of people over here, and they're all in their lane trying to win a game, and people are over here doing stuff. But just, keep it out of the gutter and stay in the lane, right?
Yeah. I think everybody has a certain area of calling.
Right.
And you may not think it's impactful, but I guarantee you it is.
It is.
If you just answer that call, because you just never know what that may turn into.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so we've got just a great group of volunteers.
We do.
And just people who support us. I thank God for them so much.
And we couldn't do it without you, all of you,
not.
every one of you, whether you've been here for a few months or a few years or whatever. We thank you. We don't always express our gratitude enough. But anybody who's willing to spend of their time to help the least of these, then it's a blessing. And it not only blesses the folks in the community and on the streets, but it blesses the whole ministry called Shades of Grace and the Kingdom of God more than anything else.
Yes, it does. And we're thankful for each one.
Yeah, Jimmy, I wanted to ask you something else.
Okay.
We have sent in to the publisher our rough draft and et cetera. Can you give an update on our book?
I had to resubmit something today while you were in the office today. They came back and said that the cover was a little bit offline, so I had, and it was, sure enough it was.
Okay.
And I had to adjust it and resubmit it. So within the next probably next 2 weeks, we will have the final copy for us to sign off on to go to print.
Okay.
So it takes a little time. This is a pretty good sized book, 100-page book.
How much was it? How many pages was our other book?
Close to 90, I believe.
Okay.
So this was just a little bit bigger, and we have a lot of photos in this one.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pictures in there, and so I'm very anxiously awaiting to open up the email inbox, and it says your draft is ready to approve.
And we've already paid for the shipment, right?
Yes.
I mean,
well, you have to pay for the books and everything before they'll even start, because if you didn't do that, they'd have a lot of people send them stuff just to waste time.
And we've used this publisher before, and they're good and do a great job. So we're really getting excited about the possibility of the next book, which is called Legion, for We Are Many.
Your first book, well, we've printed 900. I believe once we finish these off right now, what do you have? That would be nine. No, actually, I'm sorry, that'd be 1,000.
1,000.
This will
Okay.
be 1,000.
All right.
You are about to be a 2-time published author.
Wow.
And soon
Okay.
3-time
Yeah,
published author.
I'm working on the third one, and that's going to be my crowning glory. That's where the first shall be last, because I started this one 35 years ago, misplaced all the manuscript, but it's in the works. And I tell you, Jimmy, I just finished up chapter 25 on my computer. Miss D is typing it up for me from my regular manuscript that I typed. But she's putting it into the right font and all of that, sending it to me. And then all I have to go in is just make any editorial changes, redactions, or additions.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going through that really with a fine tooth. And I can honestly say my first 25 chapters are 99% done. I'm going to give it one more sweep through, and I'm done with the first 25 chapters.
So that's about half, I guess.
It's
right?
almost half, yeah.
So that's
So,
coming up, too.
and that one's going to be coming on out too by summertime.
Now, do you have a set title for that, or
Yes.
is what
I
what
do
is
have
that?
the title, Just Another Ordinary Day. And you'll know the story of that when you get the book. And that's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a autobiographical story, a collection of stories with a couple of main stories and then a lot of smaller stories. But that I think we're going to have to figure out, Jimmy, because I'm expecting it to go to other places and other areas more than just what we've done with the others. So I think we're going to work that out where, we never sell anything at Shades of Grace. We've given away 1,000 copies of the first book. We'll give away copies of the next book. The third book that I've been working on for 35 years has nothing to do with Shades of Grace. And I'm going to arrange that to where the books can be actually purchased. And, however that works, people can buy them.
The publisher handles that
Do they?
for you, and it'll be on all major online markets like
And that will be through our publisher.
Amazon,
Great, okay.
Walmart.
Yeah. So you
Target,
can go online, we'll let you know, and you can purchase that because it is going to be more extensive, much more time consuming. I mean, this has literally been, well, you've seen me the last 2 weeks. What have I been doing? I mean,
Yes.
and
you really
so-
you've been so focused
Yeah.
on that.
it's so time consuming.
But exciting too.
It
You
is
told me how
exciting.
much you
I'm
enjoyed it.
really, really excited about it. And I really could see this becoming on the big screen. I mean, I've always thought it could go far.
Yeah.
So I hope you all will be as excited about that as I am. But it's going to be called Just Another Day. And that's actually going to be my third publication. But in a sense, it's the first one because I actually typed all of it up, like I said, half my life ago. And
you thought
long
you
before
lost
I-
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was misplaced for years. I mean, for 15, 20 years. It actually was in a notebook, and I thought it had gotten lost in my move, or plural, moves,
Yeah.
in the pastoral ministry. But I found it, thanks be to God.
Yeah.
So I know that that I'm supposed to get that out. I knew when I was doing it. I knew when the stories were happening that it was supposed to go out there. So y'all pray for me. Pray that this can be done because but there's enough of it done now that even if something happened to me, it could still be finished.
Yeah, but right.
But I want to see the finished product with it in the Amazon list or the bestseller from the New York Times.
Yeah.
I mean,
That would be great.
but who knows where it will go? We don't know.
Yeah. And therefore, I mean, it reaches a whole nother
Yeah.
demographic.
Yeah, it does.
Doing it that way.
And everything in it is true. Some of the names have been changed to protect the people, but it has everything you can imagine. It has scandal. It has religion. It has travel, exotic beaches. I mean, it's just got a whole lot.
And I've read several chapters, especially the beginning.
Well, I've redone that whole first chapter.
but it reads so well. I mean, it reads like.
Reads like somebody did it.
Yeah, there. Yeah, that's the way to say it. I mean, really, it flows so well. You almost feel like you're in it, and that's the way it should be when you're reading a book. You visualize what you're talking about the Mini, the green Mini.
Right.
You know, you just I'm talking about the Mini Cooper cars.
Yeah.
And you just visualize that.
And the brightly colored native parakeets who were flying in the branches of the palm trees overhead, watching from afar. I mean, no, it's very descriptive.
Yep, you've done well with that. So, but anyway, lots of coming.
Yep.
Lots going on.
Well, what's going on this weekend?
Let's see. So we've got church here Saturday morning, 10:30.
Okay.
I'm not sure if we have any special.
That
music
reminds
this week,
me, I
but,
need to text Landon today with my sermon notes. I saw him out back outside this morning when I parked my car, and he said, "What's the sermon going to be?" And I appreciate Landon. He always asks me early in the week so that he can choose the music that goes along with
that he does.
And he does
He really
a very
does.
good job, and we appreciate it.
Even before that Friday, we will have a memorial service here.
Yes. Oh,
for
that's right.
Miss Billy Sue Roden.
Yes, we do.
And her daughter, Sherry, has been a friend of ours here for a couple of years and came and seen us several times.
Yes.
And wanted it very important to her that her mother's service be here at Shades of Grace.
Yes. And
So pray for that
I'm not
family.
sure that I've met her. Have I? Does
You
she?
have. If you remember, she sang a song for us one time.
In a service?
No,
Or
no,
just here?
just here. She,
Okay.
I played the song on my computer.
Okay. Yeah.
And she wanted to sing a song for us. and
Okay.
Very talented. I believe she's.
And we need to pray for her because you said she's going to actually sing the vocals for her mother's funeral. And that won't be easy.
No. And we had that conversation yesterday. I said, look, if you feel, I want you to really, I want you to share, but I also want you to think this through.
Right.
This is a time. And she said, nope. She said, I want to do it for my mother. I can do it. And
Okay.
we'll do a little practice run on early
Right.
Friday before.
Yeah.
And just let her get comfortable. She's picked 2 really good songs.
Good.
So, but that'll be
So
Friday.
that will be Friday. And then we want to mention Tanya Teasley,
Yes.
one of our faithful members here now for over 3 years. She told me yesterday it's been over 3 years since she has, and we don't have anybody any more faithful than her. She's
Isn't that the
always
truth?
here on the front row. And Tanya's mom passed away early this morning, about 1:30. And the funeral service is going to be Saturday at Hagee Fallbush Funeral Home in Norton, Virginia. And the visitation will be from 1 until 2. So that's going to give us time, those who want to go to there, who attend Shades of Grace. It's still only about, what is it, Norton? An hour? No more than an hour.
About an hour.
No more than an hour's drive up in the mountains. Want to get a nice drive up into the mountains. That service will be at 2 o'clock. And then there'll be, I think, a burial to follow. But if you can go, those of you from Shades of Grace, I know that she would welcome
Yes,
that.
she
Just
would.
to see a smiling face.
She definitely.
Or even just drive up there and sign the book. You don't have to stay for the service. But, friends are so very important.
And especially in a time like this.
Right.
Yeah.
And we are Tanya's family here in Kingsport. So just remember her in your prayers.
Yes. Yes.
And then we got worship on Saturday.
Yep. 10:30. Music at 10 o'clock.
Yep.
We'll have the choir again this week. And
Boy, I tell you, they did a great job.
Yes.
I love that song, I Know My Name Is There, that they opened up with.
Yep. And did you notice the difference in the service this week that we opened with the choir?
I loved it.
Just
Yeah.
kind of switching it
I
up a
loved
little
it.
bit. And
Yeah.
I do. I love our choir.
Absolutely.
And you are welcome to join us in our choir. You
Yes.
don't have to have a formal invitation.
No.
Just come, practice. About 10 minutes after 10:15.
They'll go
Just to
through it a
go through
couple
the
of
songs
times.
and make sure everybody's got it and feels comfortable with it. And we invite you.
We sing the letter.
A letter. What's that?
We open our mouth and let her fly. Thankfully,
Boy.
Landon and Quinn and a few others will help bail us out. But have you noticed the last couple of weeks I haven't sung in the choir?
I've noticed that. Yes.
I used to,
Yeah.
and I just like to sit back and enjoy it. I truly do. It helps kind of settle me just a little bit to enjoy that before I get up
I'll
and
tell you,
preach.
hands down, I have the best view of the church service.
You have a bird's eye view.
And Steve came up and helped me with slides a few weeks ago when Chris was out of town. And he mentioned that too. He's like, boy, it's really different up here.
Yeah.
You see, literally, you see everything, you hear everything different.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, when we're up that high, you know, you can see about anything that's going on. Sometimes we see things
You don't
that
want
we
to see.
don't want to see.
And you know, this is a big building, though. I
Yeah.
mean, just this
Yeah.
downstairs area
Yeah.
is 6,000 square feet.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a huge building.
A lot can go
Yeah,
on.
a lot
with
can go
6,000
on,
square
yeah.
feet. So come join us.
Yeah.
We would love to have you. Bring somebody with you.
Absolutely.
Bring a neighbor, bring a friend, bring your cousin that you really don't like.
Right.
Just bring them on.
Bring them on.
You may like them when you leave church.
Right.
You never know.
You may love them.
God does a
bit.
lot of things in this building.
And one other thing, we're going to plan another movie day.
Yes, we are.
So,
yes, we are.
we're
And
working on
will,
that.
That will be this month. We're down to a choice of 2 movies. Can't quite decide on which one want to go with, but I was thinking about it this morning and pondering on it. You remember the pondering?
The Pondering.
And
yeah.
one of the movies is based on a song, and I kid you not, that song came on the radio
Well,
here at Shades within 5 minutes of me kind of saying, okay,
all right.
which one? So
Confirmation.
maybe that's the confirmation. So we'll be making an announcement on that next
All right.
week. So you'll have time to plan and, you know,
Right.
because the last one, I'm telling you, I cannot tell you how well it was, how great it was, how many people were here. There were people that were here that we've never met before.
Right.
And everyone stayed for the whole movie.
And we'll have pizza,
Mhm.
popcorn, and soft drinks.
Yes. Yeah. And you can just sit back and enjoy.
Yeah.
And it starts at 2, so maybe come a few minutes early to get you a good piece of pizza and
Yeah.
make sure there's some left and get you a good seat. But there's not a bad seat in the house.
No, there's not.
When you've got 3 86-inch screens,
Right.
you know.
We got one screen facing this direction, two facing that way. So you can actually, our chairs are reversible. You could turn them around and be watching this way, or yeah, it's ideal.
Yeah, it sure
great.
is. So that's great.
Yep.
Well, I've got a couple of questions
All right.
for you as
Let's-
we are running out of time.
let's
We're
have
really
it.
quick. We're going through it. So I've got some Easter questions for
Okay,
you tonight.
all right.
I'll save a few of these maybe for next
All right.
week.
Okay. Go ahead.
But first thing we have coming up next will be Palm Sunday.
Okay.
So the question is, why is the Sunday before the resurrection called Palm Sunday?
Okay. It is when Jesus was going into the city of Jerusalem for that final week before his crucifixion, and they were breaking the branches down, the palm branches, the fig tree branches, whatever trees were growing. They were actually taking their coats off, laying their garments on the road. They were giving them the red carpet treatment.
Right.
So
Right.
they were welcoming the King, Jesus.
Okay. Let's see here. How many hours was Jesus on the cross? 3, 6, 9.
6
or 12?
hours.
6 hours. That's right. And then,
From 9 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon, I believe.
okay.
Wasn't that right?
That I don't know.
You all help me out.
Fill that in there. Okay. This is an easy one. How many times did Peter deny Christ after he abandoned the Lord?
3 times.
3 times. And after Jesus died, whom did he send to help his followers?
He sent the Holy Spirit.
The Holy
And we'll be celebrating that for Pentecost, which is actually 50 days after Easter. So we're right now doing the season in Lent, which is 40 days. Then we get to Easter Sunday, and then we begin Pentecost, which will go on for 50, or actually we'll go through the Sundays of Easter for 50 days, and then Pentecost comes. 50 comes, Pentecost means from 50th, or Pentagon has 5 sides.
Right. Okay.
Penta, so
50.
yeah, 50 days
Okay.
after Easter.
All right. Well, that's it for tonight, I think.
Well, how long did we
Gives
do?
us-
What time did we start?
About 5 after.
Well,
So
guess
we-
what? It's 4 minutes till.
Yeah. So
9
we've-
minutes.
We've done pretty good.
50 minutes.
Yep, we've done pretty. You know, it always we come in here, we have no script, maybe a few little notes.
I'm
you
sure
know,
they can tell that.
And then, yeah, And then before you know it, there's an hour is up.
Mm-hmm.
Or there's been times we've recorded and we said, well, was that 30 minutes? And we look at it, it's 50 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so thankful for that.
You know, we could actually get on the air and do a 3-hour thing in the morning or evening while people are driving to work and stuck in the traffic jams.
Let people call in.
Let them call in.
Yeah.
We could. I think we could really.
Yeah, is this stupid or is this fat? Which one am I talking to?
There's one more thing. Years ago, we got time for one
Sure.
more. We may have told you, but someone came to the door a few years ago. Jimmy was working. I was working. Steve was working. And Pat was working.
Mm-hmm.
And all of us are big guys. Some are a little bigger than others.
Yeah.
And so this guy came to the door, and we've known him forever. He's a good person,
Yes.
but gets a little on the far outside and
Angry.
and he's cursed me more times than I could remember right now. I mean, you've been cursed too, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, we've all
Yes,
been
I
cursed.
have.
But anyway, he came to the door and he was angry about something and he was screaming and cursing. And he said, I want to talk to that old fat SOB in there. And Steve said, there's 4 of them in here. Which one do you want? You know, it's just life. It's like it is.
Yeah.
You can't hold grudges.
And you can't take it personal.
No.
Because what happens, a couple weeks later, he comes back. And he apologizes,
Yeah,
and
and
you
he's
know, very
just-
humbly apologizes,
yeah.
and you know, the last time that happened, I told him, I said, "You really have nothing to apologize for. It's okay. It's all
you
okay."
know, if we weren't around, you know, every time somebody says something and curses us or all that, we wouldn't get anything else done.
Amen to that.
So it's life, you know. If you ever get bored, come on down to Shades. You know, we'll figure it out. Okay.
That's right. All right.
Well, good night,
thank you.
everybody.
Yep.
We'll see you at worship on Saturday morning. Come on out, 10 o'clock music, 10:30 worship. Have a wonderful day, good friends. Have a good
Yes.
night, and we will talk to you the next time around.
Good night.
Good night, Jimmy.
Good night.
Bye.